Hello again, and welcome back to Game On, where we use sports and athletics to talk about anything related to mental health. I know it's been a hot minute, but I'm back. I recently had the opportunity to stop in the National Archives Museum in DC. I was in DC for the day, hopped in a bunch of different places. I was pleasantly surprised that they had a whole exhibit focused on sports. Fascinating to me. I happen to like history, and of course, I love sports. That's why I do this. And something really struck my eye, which is relevant to what we talk about. It showed, I had a little clip, didn't even have any sound, that showed how they used to make footballs. We're about to start the football season. And it was so interesting. There were so many steps that had to be completed before you got the final product. Plus, each step was dependent on a different person. It wasn't just an assembly line, but there were a lot of different steps, whether it's getting the hide and cutting it out and stitching it together and filling it up and actually sewing, the stitches on the football. And it just really struck me what a contrast they lived in at that time to what we live in. We're trying to make things so much easier, less labor intensive, more efficient. I think there's a tremendous value, and maybe an understated value, in being like heavily involved, being physically involved, and you're invested in something, you're creating something. I'm sure each one of us can relate to, like, when you create something, when you have to work and you really put yourself into it, and then you create something, there's a certain like satisfaction, there's a certain like feeling that you don't get otherwise. You might be able to make 100 footballs, but if you weren't really involved, and maybe you make good money off of it, whatever it is, but if when you're involved and you're actually creating, there's an investment, and B, you just feel good that you created. And you can say that more broadly about sports, like when you're really committed and invested, you feel different. And that definitely, to me, relates to mental health. Sometimes we need to force ourselves to get involved, to dig in, to, do the tough things, but also just like to roll up the sleeves, get our hands dirty and get involved. And at the end of the day, you won't regret it when you really invest yourself. And it's going to be good for each of our own mental health. Appreciate you watching. If you got anything out of it, take 10 seconds, like this, share this, comment, anything and everything. Have a wonderful day.